I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I feel love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I feel peace, peace, peace. I choose peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I feel peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love, love, love. I feel love, love, love. Love, love, love. I feel love, love, love.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity Temple in the Plaza, a place where diversity is praised and peace and harmony are the rewards. I have a few brief announcements before we begin the service. As many of you know, or you may not know, on the first Sunday of each month, we do pre-taping in the, there's not a live audience here at the temple, but it is still streamed, so we invite that you join us on streaming, and also you're welcome to come here for a live performance the rest of the Sundays. Also, there's many things happening here at Unity Temple, even though the coronavirus has shut us down for the most part, but we're doing a lot online. And every week there are new classes that can engage you and that can allow you to find a greater quality in your life. We'll begin the service now with the temple chimes, the opening prayer, Geneva Price, and the call to inspiration. Am I on? Hey, you're supposed to shut me off during this. What's going on? Just another perfect example of not being an organized religion. Peace prayer. Please join me in saying the peace prayer. On this day, we dedicate ourselves to peace on earth. We accept ourselves without harsh judgment and express appreciation for our individuality. We live without fear to meet the events of this day with confidence. We accept others without prejudice to experience a sense of unity with all people. We honor our earthly environment and recognize a oneness with all creation. In harmony with ourselves, our lives, other people, and all of nature, we live this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. Thank you, God. Amen.
Sing a new song, proclaim God's glory. Rise and sing, the morning has come. Song of the earth, life from heaven, joy in our hearts. We are called to act with justice. We are called to love tenderly. We are called to serve each other. We are called to walk with God. I am unwritten, can't read my mind. I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand. The ending's unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself with words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the lines. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. past is still unwritten. It's all unwritten.
Once again, welcome to Unity Temple in the Plaza. Today I'd like to share with you some thoughts about choices. Our lives revolve around choices. Every place we go, every person we meet, every single thing we do, we're faced with some sort of a choice to make. If it's a positive choice, our lives increase in quality. If it's a negative choice, our lives decrease in quality. Now, my cousin Ozzy has never been adept at making choices. And as a result, he oftentimes finds himself in a quagmire of different conflicts as he goes about his daily life. Well, Ozzy and Lars Iverson decided to take a trip to Chicago. They're going to fly for 3 days. So they get to the airport, and they get on a nonstop flight to Chicago. And as they're boarding the plane, heading back to the economy section, Cousin Ozzy notices an empty seat in first class. And he kept his eye on it. When they got to their seats, he told Lars, when the plane is going down the runway and the attendants are all fastened into their seats, I'm going to sneak into first class and take that seat. And he did it successfully. He settled back in the big plush seat with plenty of leg room, and he was just as happy as a cat. Once the plane went airbound, and the flight attendant came by and asked to see his ticket. He said, I'm sorry, sir, you're in economy class. You're going to have to go back to your seat. Cousin Ozzy pushed back. He said, there's nobody sitting in this seat. It was vacant. It doesn't make any difference if I sit here or not. I'm not moving. The flight attendant got flustered. He said, sir, I'm going to ask you to go back to your seat right now. Cousin Ozzy said, I'm not going back. Go away. Leave me alone. So the flight attendant went off. But he came back very shortly with the supervising flight attendant. And she came, looked down at Cousin Ozzy, and she smiled at him. And then she bent over and whispered something in his ear. Cousin Ozzy smiled at her and got up and went back to his seat in economy class. Well, Lars Iverson, who had been watching this whole fiasco, said, what happened up there? What did she whisper in your ear? Cousin Ozzy said, oh boy, she saved me from a lot of trouble. She told me first class seats aren't going to Chicago. Okay. You know, I have conversations with people that are having a difficult time with life. Things just don't seem to be going right. They oftentimes say, why me? Why is life so difficult? What is it? Life just isn't fair. And my answer to them is always the same. I tell them, other than outside factors, external factors that you have no control over, like accidents or problems or challenges that come your way, but they're not a result of your actions. Outside all of those things, the entire rest of your life is what it is based on the choices you make. If you make a good choice, you're going to get a good result, and if you make a bad choice, you're going to get a bad result. It's as simple as that. The person or the choices that you made yesterday have outpictured in the life that you're living today. The choices you make today will outpicture in the life that you live in the future. Choices are everything, and every choice has a consequence, whether it be good or whether it be bad. When we make a choice, we set in action a series of different events that are going to take place, and it can be for us or it can be against us. The experts in human research tell us that the average person makes 15,000 choices a day. Think about that, 15,000 choices a day. Now, if we take an average day and we sleep 8 hours where choices virtually aren't being made, that means in a 16-hour period, we're making 15,000 choices, 900 choices an hour, or 15 choices every minute. That seems like a lot of work to me. That seems like hard labor. But the good news is 90% of the choices that we make, we don't even have to think about. We make them automatically. They're called habits of thought. And that is when a choice is made in such repetition over and over and over again, becomes natural to our instincts and it becomes natural to our reactions. So the 13,500, if we take that out, that leaves us 1,500 choices a day. Much, much more manageable. That gets down to about 1.5 choices per minute. Now of those choices, and this gets even better, of those choices, most of them are easy. Of the 1,500 choices we make a day, most of them don't have a consequence, they don't have a permanence to them, so they're very easy to make. Like, what are we going to wear today? What are we going to eat? Am I going to go out? Am I going to stay home? What am I going to watch on television? Choices that just come naturally and there's not a great deal of consequence to them. But occasionally, things come into our lives that we don't want, first-hand experiences we don't know what to do with, and it's difficult. What do you do when you're faced with a choice and you don't know what choice to make? The longer you deal with that, the greater the stress becomes, the greater the anxiety becomes, the greater the worry becomes. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What choice to make? What choice to make? And the narrative in our head continues to increase and increase, and we get so caught up in the choice that we have to make, but we don't know how. In order to make the right choices, it's essential that we determine what we want out of life. What do we want to experience? In order to make the right choices, we have to determine what we value in life, and then make sure that the choices we make align with the values that we have. Now, this is especially important in this political climate. Oftentimes we get drawn into conversations and there is a combative relationship with who we're talking to because there's different viewpoints on the political future of this country. And oftentimes those conversations will elevate, and sometimes they become hostile. Sometimes mean words are said. All sorts of different things that can happen come out, and it takes us away from that which we value. Now the point is, you decide who you're going to vote for. And if you're happy with that choice, then that choice is the right choice for you. And what I'm telling you about this is you don't have to defend your choice. If somebody says, why are you voting for that? You don't have to defend it. And you don't have to offend the other person's choice. And you don't have to bow to the intimidation of somebody that's trying to get you to change your mind. You determine how you're going to vote, and if it feels good to you, then that's a good vote for you to make. See, the problem is we don't have control over a lot of the different things that happen around us. And that includes people. You know, we all value love. It's the greatest experience we can have in life. We all value harmony. It's our most natural state. And we all value peace of mind. Plus happiness, kindness, and respect. But we can't go out to the world and tell somebody or dictate to somebody or direct somebody, you're going to love me, or you're going to respect me, or you're going to be happy with me. We can do that, but it's not going to get any results in most cases if we have to tell somebody to do that. And in addition, we have no way of hoping that what we desire to get from the world is going to take place. You know, we can hope, we can pray, we can wish upon a star, but that doesn't mean we're going to get what we want when we go out into the world. Our choice always has to align with our values. And we can be face to face with the most cantankerous person in the world. We can be face to face with somebody that is mumbling and grumbling and very negative. But we can still choose, and that's the important point here, we can still choose to be happy. And when we choose happiness, we're going to experience happiness in our life. It's the same thing with peace of mind. Sometimes we get all caught up in the problems of the world and the disruptions and the disturbances that are going on. That's easy to do. But if we choose to maintain our peace of mind no matter what's going on out there, we're going to experience peace in our lives. It's the same thing with respect. When somebody is in front of us, those poor souls that decide to take their anger out on us, we can still be kind and be respectful. And when we do that, we experience kindness and respect in our lives. Now, when I was growing up, I had a family member, an older family member, and we thought absolutely the opposite on everything. We thought differently about politics. We thought differently about religion. We thought differently about lifestyles. And when we had family functions, he would oftentimes try to lure me in to an argument of some sort by making a statement that he knew I'd disagree with. He wanted to prove me wrong in front of other people. Oftentimes, I'd remain calm, and I'd be okay with this. But as the conversation went on, it began to elevate. The voices got louder, the voices got more harsh on both sides, and pretty soon things were said that hurt. Mean things were said. And we'd continue this until we left each other's company. Long after that day was over, the next day, the hurting words were still there. When I would think about it, I still felt bad. I still felt angry. I still felt resentful for the things that he said. And those feelings will continue for each and every one of us. Those feelings will continue until a healing takes place. They're like a wound, like an emotional wound. And we need to heal that. We need to immunize ourselves from the brickbats and the ammunition that is thrown at us from people that don't have our well-being in their interest. You know, unfortunately, some people just don't have respect and kindness in their toolbox. Here's another way to look at this. Time to eat. So you go to the microwave, you put in a big bowl of soup, you push the heat button, you walk away, you come back later, you take the bowl out, and you realize you've overheated it and the bowl is hot. But we choose, let me own this personally, I choose to head to the other room where I'm going to eat with the hot bowl. And as I'm doing that, the hot turns into burning, and my hands are hurting. Yet I choose not to stop and put it down. I choose to continue forward. And by the time I get to the table where I'm going to eat, my hands are burned and they're starting to blister. Now I tell you that because it's very much like the altercations that we get into. You know, when we're smart people, we know what is going to happen when we're in a conversation and it begins to heat up. We know where it's going. Yet we persist to move forward and continue on with it for some reason. We know when things get to the point where they're starting to hurt us, yet we continue and we persist in the conversation. Sometimes it's the exact same issue with the exact same person. It's like going around and around that same old track, that track of conflict that never gets resolved. Sometimes a different thing with the same person. Sometimes same thing with a different person. It doesn't make any difference. What I'm trying to say is that we have this internal guide that will tell us when we're moving away from that which we value, which is love, peace, and harmony. We have guidance towards that if we listen to it. When we do something that hurts the body has a way of alerting us, this is not good. It is not going to end well if you continue. And that warning is pain. Like the burning hands. It's a body saying, stop this, it hurts. There's going to be a wound of some sort that takes place. It is the same thing when we move into a conversation that moves us away from the values that we have. It's the emotional system instead of the physical system, and the emotional system warns us through feelings. We all know it doesn't feel good to be in conflict, especially with somebody that you like or somebody who is a friend. We all know it doesn't feel good to be resentful. It doesn't feel good to argue with somebody. It doesn't feel good to have anger and all those other emotions that hurt. It just doesn't feel good. Yet we persist moving into it, knowing it's beginning to hurt, it's beginning to get uneasy, it's beginning to disturb me, yet we continue moving into it instead of realizing this isn't what I want in my life. I don't care what this person is saying, I don't care what they stand for, I don't care what they're holding to, this isn't what I want in my life. Yet we persist. Now here, I think it's appropriate that we draw on the wisdom of a cat. If a cat jumps on a hot stove, two things happen. First of all, it jumps off immediately. And the second thing is, It doesn't jump on a hot stove twice. Yet we as human beings seem to repeat these negative habits, repeat these things that we know are not going to lead to what we want in life. Now, the reason that happens is because of the unruly voice of the ego. And the ego isn't something different from us. The ego is us. The ego is that entity within us that holds our attitudes and voices them. And sometimes the ego can be an agent for self-hurt. It's like, I need to win this and I'm not going to give up. I have to be right. How could they say that? All those things that just upset us and disturb us, and they continue on, and they continue on, and they continue on. So we need to learn to be aware. What is it that we value in life? Do our choices align with that? When I make a choice, whether it's a difficult one or an easy one, what are the consequences of that choice going to be? And every choice has a consequence, some positive, some negative. Think ahead of what the consequences are going to be, and then allow that to be our guide as we move forward. Now, a quick review of what I just said. Please look at the screen. We're just going to allow this to absorb as we move into meditation. You've been given the incredible power to choose the quality of your life, the measure of well-being you experience, and the health of your relationships. Every choice you make has a consequence. Whether it be big or small, whether it be life-changing or continuing on as is, whether it is something you desire or detest, every choice has a consequence. We strengthen our power to choose by being slow to respond in a negative and combative way to something that upsets us, and by being quick to forgive the situation by returning to a positive and peaceful state. With that being said, let's move into meditation.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
This is the time of the service where we move deeply into that very heart of our being, down to that place where you always find peace of mind, that place where we are free from any problems or challenges that we might be confronting, that time where we momentarily put everything on hold. We pause the busyness of our lives. We set aside any disturbances or disruptions, any dislikes or antagonisms that we might come across, and we just rest in the pure beauty of being alive, of being here, of being the person that we are. I invite you to take a deep breath, hold it for a moment, and as you breathe out, say to yourself, I am peace. And take another deep breath. And as you exhale, say, I am love. Another deep breath. And as you exhale, say, I have the power to choose the quality of my life, the dispositions I hold, my reactions to negative situations. I have the power to choose. Now, as we move into the silence, Think about any situations or circumstances in your life that are not comfortable. Think about any person in your world that you have resistance towards, that for some reason it just stirs within you a sense of dislike or resentment. Keeping in mind that you have the power to choose, we can choose to be compassionate to all those people that are hurting, that are dissatisfied, that are angry themselves, that vent it on the world around them, and sometimes we're the target of that venting. We can choose to be compassionate. Every person is the person they become as a result of the choices that they have made, even if the choice was to not make a choice. Every person, I believe, is doing the best they can do with the life they've been given. But every person does have the power to choose. They can change their lives. The way their life is today in this moment doesn't mean that's the way their life is going to be tomorrow or going forward. The power to choose. For each and every one of us, that is ours to determine. We'll now move into the silence. ever so slowly begin to bring yourself back to where you're at in the world that you live in. And as you do so, come back with a sense of serenity. Come back to a sense where you can live in this world and still be happy. You can accept the world the way it is in this moment with the intention to make the changes in your life and help make positive changes in the world. But in this moment, everything is okay. And come back with a sense of expectation and intention for the rest of this day and for your life going forward. An expectation of enjoyment, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose as you go about your life being a beneficial presence to this earth. And so it is.
God of faith, you are light for our eyes, the air we breathe, the voice we speak, the song we sing. We are filled with your vision. We're people of mission, healing, forgiving. We're light for the world. We're light for the world. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, so bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, so bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. What do you say, Clay? It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
It's a time during the service where we take a moment or two to think about our lives, think about the people in our world, and express gratitude. We often say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And what that means is that divine love through us, that pure love, expresses itself as gratitude, as thankfulness for all there is. Today, I express gratitude for John Nash, who created I Can See Clearly Now. He made his transition just recently. Wonderful, beautiful singer. Also, express special gratitude for our musicians today. We have Robert on the piano, Peggy, and Clay. We thank you all. I thank the audience that has come down here this morning. We also express our gratitude for those people in this congregation whose last name begins with O-M-N, M-N-O-P. Wait and see. This concludes our service for today. We'll close with the prayer for protection, and then we'll sing the peace song together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Please join in singing the peace song.